Am I doing grief wrong? That is what many parents and my clients are asking. Are they doing grief wrong? Having a conversation with parents who have experienced the loss of a child, at times there is this expectation of, are we supposed to be crying? If I let go and I allow my emotions to come out, will I never stop? It's amazing how we are programmed to believe that the 5 stages of grief are the absolute truth. And I want to say that that is BS. I want to break that myth, and that's what these conversations on grief are. Hi there, I'm Maria Balanik, certified grief educator and coach, and a bereaved mom. I've lived the experience of not knowing what was going to happen next, of living in that confusion, the disorientation, and even grief fog. Yes, we've heard of brain fog. There is also grief fog. In one of the conversations that I had with my client is the expectation of, am I doing grief wrong? He actually thought that the way he was doing grief or coping with grief wasn't the right way, because he goes, I could be out with people and laugh, and I kind of felt guilty that maybe I should be sad all the time. No, that's the aspect about grief, is no one's going to know what is going to come up. Maybe it will be sadness. You could be out with people and enjoy yourself, and then afterwards feel guilty because you're thinking, why did I laugh? I'm supposed to be sad. My child passed away. It's our humanness that says that, oh no, what am I doing wrong? This is where I actually say to my clients, your way of doing grief is the right way. There is no right or wrong to grief. You are the expert of your own grief. Let that sink in. You are the expert of your own grief. It took me a while to believe that when I was in the rawness after my son passed away, because so many of us believe and think that the 5 stages that we need to do a checkbox of, I'm supposed to be here. Am I in this box today? Or am I in this one? Or am I in this one? It gets so confusing. And many of us feel lost because no one has ever told you how you're supposed to do grief. And in actual fact, there is no way to do grief. It is based on your relationship, your personality, and sometimes even some of the old wounds that we carry. And these old wounds will affect how we process or how we journey in grief. Maybe you have no old wounds, and maybe you do. Only you are going to know what are old wounds, what rises from the past. And are you okay with acknowledging what your feelings and thoughts are? And this is where I end up. And though I say I'm a coach, there is a different distinction of what coaching in grief is about. It's not telling you what to do. It's listening. That is the different distinction of how support is offered. And this is so many people sometimes, I have clients that go, well, I planned for this. And again, the circumstances of how your child passed away are going to be different than someone else's. Some of us may feel that, oh, we've prepared, we've had anticipatory grief. And that does not necessarily mean that you are going to be prepared for what happens. We may know, our brains may know what's going to happen. When it actually happens, it is a shock. Our brains are shocked, our bodies are shocked, our hearts are shattered. This is part of being a human, of being a parent. No one can tell you how to feel. No one can tell you how to think. As a grief educator, I am here to listen, not to correct, to listen, to offer suggestions, to offer a shift in how we view grief, rather than thinking that it is something to get over or through or to forget. And this is the reason for these conversations. Conversations help us in seeing how someone else is experiencing their grief. How are they walking with their grief? Do they carry guilt? I know for the longest time, I had carried guilt. I had thought I was a terrible mother because I hadn't taken my boys when they were small to Disneyland. Amazing how I put Disneyland on this pedestal with the expression that Disneyland was the extreme in what a good parent did. And it was when I said it out loud that I realized the silliness of it. Disneyland did not make me a good parent. And this is what the aspect of grief does. And this is how I offer support, is that when you say these things, we look at them. Are they factual? Are they true? And we break it down. Not in the sense of, oh, we got to go digging. It's in the sense of, how does it feel in your body? How does it feel in your heart? And that's what my client had actually said. He was looking at things going, okay, this is where I've been reading and I've been researching, and it says grief is supposed to be this, this, and this. And yet, that's not what I feel. And that is natural. We have a disconnect between our brains and our hearts. Our brains are wanting to go down that rabbit hole of why and researching. And we want at times to have a procession, a progress, a destination of saying, this is where I am right now. What are the steps to get me to over here? Grief does not work that way. Grief is actually being in the present. It's acknowledging what you are feeling and what you are thinking. And when we acknowledge without judging them, without making a meaning of where we're supposed to be or is it wrong. Feelings and thoughts are just that. They are neutral. We add meaning to it. And getting back to, am I doing grief wrong? Because that was the question. No one does grief wrong. Because you are the expert in your grief. I really want that to land. Because so many parents are shamed into believing and thinking that they are doing something wrong, that they are stuck because they are missing their child. Let's face it, as a parent, we will always miss our child who is not here. And that does not take away from our surviving children. As a parent, we have a capacity to love all our children. And the one that is not here is always missed, always loved. And in our hearts, we feel their presence. That does not go away. And one of the suggestions that I offered my client, and I want to share with you also, is having maybe a time frame of when you honor your grief and your child. You can light a candle, and that shows your body and your mind that you are lighting a candle and you are giving time for your grief to feel whatever comes up. You can sit for 10 minutes, 30, an hour, 2 hours. You give it the time that you want. And at different times, it may be different times. You are the one who decides how long you are going to sit with your grief. And when you are done sitting with your grief and being with it, you blow out the candle and you say, thank you. I am honoring until next time. This gives us permission to honor it at a specific time, with the understanding that there may be times where there's going to be a scent, there's going to be a song, there's going to be a food, there will be something that will activate your memory. And you can actually say to your grief, yes, I'm feeling you. However, right at this moment, I cannot sit with you and honor. I will do that later on. And that's when we do the ritual. Because what we keep in our bodies stays. And we don't know how it's going to come out and affect us. And at times it may be in inappropriate times when we're in a meeting, when we're driving. So this is one way of honoring you, of honoring your child, and of honoring the grief. Grief is love and loss in one breath. I thank you for being here. Definitely share if this helps you, if you want more tips or what questions you want answered. Moving forward, that is what conversations with grief is. It's walking with grief as a companion. So thank you so much for being here.